Hello, in this video we're talking about overlay feeds and how they're used in the Raven live video switching platforms. Let's jump on in. All right, as you can see, I've pulled up a scene here called Worship Scene. This is typically a church example where you have people up on stage singing and leading some form of music for the audience. And the audience sings along, and usually the people on stage might have what's called a confidence monitor or a stage monitor feed. And that helps them see the lyrics because they're facing the audience and they can't see whatever screen or video wall is behind them that the audience gets to see. So this is called a variety of different things by different presentation software packages, but I'm taking an NDI feed of that from the package that I'm currently using, which is ProPresenter, and I've called that feed the stage monitor feed. And if you want to see what that looks like, it looks like this. So as you can see, this is what someone on stage looking at that stage monitor or confidence monitor, this is what they would see. The current lyrical line is this white text on the top. And then in the kind of orangish text on the bottom, that's the next line of lyrics. So as you can see, that rotates up to the current line of lyrics as the person running the presentation software is switching slides. Well, all this stuff here at the bottom of the screen isn't really useful to me. I just want to be able to look at the white text only and then remove the black color in the back and then put that on top of the cameras that I have set up looking at the stage and all the people that are singing and playing instruments. So let's see how we do this. I'm going to switch back over to this scene and I'm going to hit the details button. Sorry, it's behind my little picture-in-picture thing, but it's a details button just like all the other screens. And as you can see, we have quite a few details here that we can look at, and it's a little overwhelming at first, but let's walk through it together and you'll get the hang of it quickly. The important thing to know is that Raven processes overlay feeds from top to bottom in this displayed window. So the first thing it does is it removes the portion of the image that is not needed. In other words, sometimes called keying. And so there's two types of keying that Raven can do. One is luminance keying, or keying based on the brightness of something, and the other is called chroma keying, or keying out based on the color of something. And so in this particular case, because my stage monitor feed had a black background, I'm using luminance keying because the black just means I don't want this part. So that's what I've defined here. I've defined the black values, and if you hover your cursor over this, you'll actually see tooltips, which, by the way, throughout Raven, if you have a question about what something is or what something does, just hover your cursor over it for a couple seconds, and you'll probably get a relevant tooltip that'll help point out what things are. Notice how it says, hey, the red value of the chroma filter, parentheses, leave all chroma blank to use Luma filtering. So in other words, if we leave this at the default, red, green, blue, all defined as 0, then Raven is going to use luminance keying and it's going to use these alpha values. So if I was, for example, trying to key out someone standing in front of a green screen, then I might define a green value. Of course, in reality, it would probably need to be more like something like that. But then what Raven will do is it will say, oh, any green value that's over this threshold, remove that from the image. Okay? But because we're using luminance keying at the moment, I'm just going to leave all of this blank. Now, after Raven has removed the unnecessary parts of the image, and of course it's doing that in real time like any keyer would, now we're going to crop the image down. Now, remember how we saw in that example, pretty much the bottom half of the video is unnecessary to us. So what we're doing is from 550 pixels down, we're just lopping that part off. Now, digital videos typically, at least in Raven, we work with everything from the top left corner as being the 0, 0 pixel location. So from 0 to 550 pixels down, that's what we're looking at. Everything else we drop. So we've lopped off the bottom portion of the image now. And now, After we've keyed everything out, keyed out the dark portions of the image, the black background, and we've lopped off the bottom half. Now we're going to take the result and we're going to scale it down, because I don't want it to fill the screen all the way left and right when I start overlaying it on things. So I'm going to scale it down to a fixed width of 640 pixels by 183 pixels. Okay, so that's going to be the actual value or the size of the box that would be present if it wasn't keying out the black. Of course, we're not going to see the black, but effectively that's going to be the size of the box. And then that box is going to be placed horizontally in the center of the screen and vertically on the bottom, but we're going to nudge it up 20 pixels. So it's not glued to the very bottom of the output image, but it's up, or negative 20 pixels from that full 1080 vertical resolution. So let's see how this looks like in real time. I started Raven up and I'm switching over to the live controller, and we're going to go to that worship scene, and boom, there we are. We've got our cameras looking at my model railroad layout at the moment. So those are going to be rotating through like we would have it in a scene. Just imagine they're looking at a band instead of a little train set. And we've got text being overlaid on the bottom, and that's being generated directly from the stage or confidence monitor that the band or the musicians are looking at to follow along with words. So hopefully that has given you some insight as to how overlay video feeds work in Raven. We'll see you in the next video.